Yeah, that was a thing.
I didn't know this. I thought that it was only like I thought they did it as a joke in Cheech and Chong in this movie, but apparently this was a thing where they had Rolls Royces in front of VW Bugs for a while. They actually sold these. It was like supposed to be like the classy version of the VW Bug.
Yeah, and then I think Rolls Royce was like, "Wait a second, we can't do this anymore.
This looks ridiculous." But yeah, good old Bob Uecker. At the Brewer Stadium at Miller Park, they have the Uecker seats.
Oh, really?
They cost $1, and then what they are, they're right behind stadium poles that are keeping up the seats above.
Oh, really?
You know, the floor above.
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
So they have seats. Apparently, they built the stadium, and then when they built the stadium, they put all the seats in, and they had to put support beams whenever they got more people interested in going to the games. So the best place to put them was right in front of these seats. So, if you want to buy them, they cost $1, and they're called the Uecker seats.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty funny.
I was born in Milwaukee. I'm not a Milwaukee fan. Tampa Bay Rays.
Milwaukee's worst is what I call it. Not that kind of beer.
Hey, now.
Oh.
I mean, it's good when you're a certain age.
Yeah. Or if you're going hunting, I guess.
Wait, what? Like water?
Isn't that a thing? Like people go hunting and they bring beer? Isn't that kind of a thing?
Oh, so just because it's like water, is it good for hunting?
I guess.
Are you shooting it?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Don't people bring like a 6-pack of beer whenever they go hunting or fishing or something? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah,
I always thought it was.
I've never gone hunting with Milwaukee's best.
Man, bringing it back to your lies, Jesus.
IMDb.
Give me where's my phone? I got to fact check.
You're talking about that John Lithgow picture from the 80s. Milwaukee's best hunting.
Raising Cain? That was a great movie with him. Really?
No, I think I know what you're talking about. I get it. I was just busting your chops. We were coming, you know, like
I was doing some Milwaukee.
I was doing a bit. It was a Milwaukee bit.
Was it?
So Milwaukee.
So you would know it if you were from Milwaukee.
Yeah, in Milwaukee, when people say something, you don't say that's great, man. You just go, I don't believe you, and then you make them explain it. Hey, man, I like fettuccine. Why?
No one likes fettuccine. You kidding me? What kind of sauce do you put on a fettuccine? Fettuccine Alfredo? Yeah, see, it's not even called that.
Wait, Milwaukee guys.
Milwaukee's talking about fettuccine Alfredo? Yeah, you got a problem with that? Why don't you talk to Yuka?
Yeah. Get one of them dollar seats.
You got like $2 seats. Yeah, okay, Yuka over here has got a Lincoln in his pocket. Go buy a pint of Milwaukee's best.
What did you think about the scene where Wesley Snipes tries to steal a base and ends up about 4 feet from it?
Yeah, I love that scene. He's like, because it's like so epic. He dives and then he's like, he misses it, gives the guy the finger, and then he's like, come on.
Wesley Snipes flicks him off.
Yeah, man.
But this is a good story though. So, you know, did you hear about the alternate ending of this movie?
I read about it. I didn't get to see it, but apparently you can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah,
I understand.
She played them the whole time like a Moneyball scenario because she wanted them to win.
Yeah.
So that's the way this movie was written. And she's mad about it. She's like, I knew more about baseball than any of these guys did, the actress. And then audiences saw it and they got so angry that they made them reshoot it. You know what else they did during the reshoots? So that scene where Berenger creepily sneaks into Rene Russo's house, and they rekindle their romance. And at the end, she's not at the baseball game. And so she was doing a play in London. The director had to fly over to London. They had to build a box, put her in it with extras.
Wow.
And then show the ring off of her finger. They went to London to do that.
Oh my God.
Knowledge.
And then they didn't even do it. They didn't even use it.
Yeah, they used it.
Oh.
Remember Major League?
Oh, okay.
Oh, Rene Russo.
Dang, I would have been so pissed to do that.
They originally didn't have her in the ending. So they had the lady.
I thought they were supposed to get married. Wasn't that originally like the original ending? It showed them like they were at a church and it was like they were actually getting married and they did the scene.
Yeah, the very end.
And then just like in League of Their Own when they have their bats up and then they're going underneath it. I read that was one of the original endings that they had made.
But they didn't have her at the baseball game. So then remember at the end they brought her back into that and then they didn't show the wedding. Because I guess it's just implied that they would just be together. And then, I don't know, I thought that was pretty interesting, though, that everyone was so mad that Rachel Phelps was nice. That they rebelled.
It wouldn't fit. I mean, it's like, I didn't like that whenever I read it either.
It's kind of a Moneyball-esque movie, if you think about it.
Yeah, I read that review that somebody was compared it to Moneyball, and like it was kind of like Moneyball of its time, and it's like, no.
I guess the
but
players, they brought in specialty players who could fit positions, I guess.
Yeah. And, I mean, she was basically, she was doing it for her own gain, though. Because you would have to basically excuse everything that she has in the beginning to say, like, well, I want to move this team to Miami and I'm getting a nice house out of it. Well, how would that, she had to convey that message to everyone else. And it's like, well, how would that, just saying that little bit of knowledge, how would that benefit your assistant?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Then they'd have to wipe all that out. And it just wouldn't work. It would just, no.
So they took all that out and then they added Rene. Like, that's pretty interesting though, that they had to fly to London and build a box.
Yeah, that would suck. I would, yeesh. But then she comes out on the field too. So they had to fake a field or what?
No, that's a good point. No, so she was at that, but then the scenes of her at the game they built in.
Oh, gotcha. So just that snippet right there.
So they wanted her. So they tested it, right?
Yeah,
I guess it didn't test well. So then when they went and filmed the scene where she shows the finger and stuff, when she does that, then they.
Oh, okay, I got you, man. That would have been a pain in the ass.
Yeah, go there.
Like, you mean to tell me we got to go all the way to GD London to just shoot this scene?
That was one of her first movies too. She was a major model.
Yeah, I read that she had a back brace growing up, and she was not very well liked in high school, and she was very quiet. And she was discovered at a Rolling Stones concert at the age of 17. Yeah, she was like 6 feet or something.
Yeah, Vogue and Cosmo and all those big ads. Like, she was a major. She was a supermodel, I guess, before supermodels were supermodels.
Yeah, who would be the first? Was Tyra Banks the first supermodel?
Cindy Crawford, maybe. Like, remember the whole early '90s with like what?
Yeah, they were left and right.
Tyra Banks, like that, and then blew up. Then,
oh yeah, because then everyone was into it. And then you had Natasha Henstridge, who then did Species.
But then I guess you did have a lot of models in the '80s, though.
Well, yeah, you've always had models. I mean, look at Twiggy; she's from the '60s. Yeah.
But I guess like super.
That's I guess they became supermodels like in the '80s and '90s. I think Tyra Banks is like considered
that.
She's considered that. I think one of the first.
Yeah, and then they started doing all those shows and.
Yeah, then they all...
On our next podcast.
Yeah.
No, but it's good... I mean, it's worth knowing, right?
I think it's interesting.
Yeah. But I love how Rene Russo... She went on to go in, like, Lethal Weapon 3, Outbreak, Get Shorty, Tin Cup, Ransom, Thomas Crown Affair. She kind of became the...
She became the go-to. She became, like, the Meg Ryan.
The go-to love interest for, like, the 30s, 40s crowd, right?
Yeah. Right? That's fair. She was kind of like the Susan Sarandon of the 90s.
Hey there.
Because Susan Sarandon did the same thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then after she got to a certain age... They needed someone else who that audiences could relate to, and then they picked Rene Russo, Meg Ryan, little bit Ellen DeGeneres, and then it just kind of went with Rene Russo for a while. And then she did what was the last movie I think she would have?
But she was never the star. She was always
she's a great supporting
co-star. Yeah,
I mean,
Meg Ryan
could you see
starring.
her as like starring in things? Meg Ryan, well, she just has a great presence. I just don't see Rene Russo like that. And I think it has a lot to do with her having like scoliosis as a kid, whereas that she just was very shy and she just didn't. She lacked the, I guess you would say, the oomph. Basically,
I guess she co-starred like Thomas Crown Affair. She co-starred.
She's a great. She wasn't like character, but
like Outbreak. I think she was a co-star. Does that make sense?
We all know the main character, and that's the monkey.
Yeah. We just said that at the same time. No, but it was cool. I mean, this is one of her first roles, and they were talking about how nervous she was, and she'd have to do like 12-hour days doing 3 pages of script, and that was like real rough on her. But she said this was at night, and so she said that was a real good learning and how to act. But everyone said how like everyone was talking about how awesome she was on set.
Yeah, she was probably. Yeah. I'm sure she was just 35 at the time, so she was definitely a late bloomer as far as acting goes.
And I kind of want to just have Berenger get away from her.
Yeah, Tom Berenger, he's permanently looked like a lot older than what he really is, and then when he gets older, he looks younger than what he is. What is that? Like, I mean, he looks like he's in his mid-50s in this movie. He's 40.
Yeah.
And then whenever he does, like, Sniper, he looks like he's, like, 35, and he's, mid-40s. Like, what the...
Yeah. We'll just put him with Billy Zane.
I don't know. What happened to Billy Zane? I love that guy.
He writes the occasional thing for Empire, and then he does really weird direct-to-DVD movies now.
Yeah. Man, that sucks.
We're covering
so good.
So Adam Clement and I, who does this podcast, he and I are doing The Rocketeer, and then we're doing The Phantom with Billy Zane.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Treat Williams.
I love Treat Williams, man. He was great in that. Remember he did The Pursuit of D.B. Cooper?
Uh-uh.
Oh, come on, man. You gotta watch that. It's a classic. I grew up watching it. My dad used to watch it like every week.
Are you making this up?
No. Check IMDb. But you know what's interesting? The cinematographer on this, Ronaldo Villalobos, he shot a lot of 80s and 90s films that were that stick out and define that decade. What I thought was interesting was that he did 9 to 5.
Oh, wow.
He did Urban Cowboy.
Oh, wow.
He did Risky Business.
I'm going to stop saying, oh, wow, but that's a wow one.
Risky Business.
Gee. Oh, wow.
Lucas. You don't remember Lucas?
Is that the one with the kid?
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
that was whenever Corey Haim's career was kind of tanking there towards the end.
Yeah.
But he did that, and then he did this. I was like, all those movies kind of define the 80s as far as the look. Now, you may be able to say John Hughes, but it's like John Hughes was using the same things as Ronaldo was. I mean, they were the same setups and everything that he used. And then after this, he did A Bronx Tale, which is one of my personal favorite movies.
I love A Bronx Tale.
I still listen to that soundtrack to this day.
I love that movie. I love that movie.
Let's do that one after.
I'm down to talk Bronx Tale.
I
own Bronx Tale.
So do I.
No, you don't.
Check IMDb. Damn it, Hoffmeyer.
That movie, the whole unlocking the door thing, that's set.
That scene, I used that throughout my entire high school dating.
And then I got older, and I'm like, well,
yeah. Now that you have the thing that goes toot toot and everything, all you have to be, you can be like 5 feet within your car, and all the doors open up, and you can press the button to drive. It's like, well, I guess that kind of beats the purpose. But I love that.
Yeah, I love that movie. I still have the old DVD with the plastic front.
That's the same one I have.
Paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were eco-friendly back in the day.
Yeah,
everything went plastic.
What's the deal with plastic?
Water in boxes and jump ropes made out of those. And
no, but there are some epic shots in this movie, though.
It was beautiful.
There's a scene where one of my favorites is when Wild Thing is on, the pitcher's mound. It's just looking up into the crowd. It's a glory shot. I mean, they really captured scale.
They really make you feel like you're at a real game.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, I wouldn't say like you're at a game, but you feel like you're a player at the game because you really see the crowd. I love that shot, the Jaws shot, basically, whenever they're pushing in and zooming out at the same time at Charlie Sheen whenever he turns around. Mm-hmm. That was great. I mean,
good shots.
Great. And then great cinematography, especially like with the one-liners you do, like whenever Dorn's wife comes up to Wild Thing.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, because you're the sexiest thing I've ever seen. He goes, check, please. It's like, such a dry. And then I love that shot at the end when he's like, and then when they're done, the next morning, and then she's leaving, and he's like, where are you going? She's like, I go home to my husband. And he's like, Mrs. Dorn. And then she leaves. And
Dorn
Tom
handles
Berenger.
it well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of hard. I'm sure they had that conversation. I don't think you would need to see the conversation. You probably understand that he probably yelled at her and she was like, act like I didn't see you on television. Yeah. Because that's the only reason why she went to go have sex with someone else and purposely chose, Ricky Vaughn, was because she saw him on television getting a girl, bringing her with him into another room.
High-fiving his teammates.
Exactly. I mean, so what are you going to say to that? I mean, like, act like I don't remember you wearing your salmon shirt with your khaki jacket, and it's like, well, because whenever you get into an argument with your significant other,
look at the time.
They kind of they map it out very well. Like that one time you wore your brown belt, you're like, damn.
Yeah. but is it Wild Thing's fault? Because he gets punched in the face for it.
Well, I mean, there would still just be a little bit of anger, but no, you wouldn't. You can't. You can't really fault. I couldn't. I mean, you wouldn't be able to fault him for it unless he knew beforehand, like, I'm going to prey on Roger Dorn's wife, or if he knew that was his wife beforehand and purposely went and talked to her because of that, because he didn't like Dorn. That would be a whole other story. But he was sitting there at the bar drinking by himself.
He didn't know.
And then he had no idea who she was. As far as he knew, she was a regular Annie.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting that I guess he punches him because he's just like, I'm mad at you, but I get it. Yeah. But I also, you've slept with my wife. Yeah. So I'm still going to punch you.
You slept with my wife, but at the same time, I was an asshole. Yeah. So it's like, but it's a punch in the face. And also, that's probably the best time to get punched in the face.
All the adrenaline?
Yeah, because everybody's going, yeah!
You'll feel it later.
And then, bam! Oof. It's like, yeah. But then, they're all going to go out drinking afterwards anyways.
I love it when Dorn first meets Serrano. And Serrano steals one of his golf club.
Keeps bat warm.
Yeah. Keeps and he's like,
Jobu thanks you for the gift.
You can't just do that. And then he creeps away with his bag. And I love Serrano in this movie. We haven't talked about it. I mean, Jobu is...
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows Jobu.
Yeah, everybody knows Jobu. You never take Jobu's rum.
Yeah, and then that guy...
Chelsea Ross is like, I wouldn't leave that rum lying around here with all these guys.
And when
he takes a drink.